Speedway scene since 1982, but it had never been in victory lane until last year when Paul Menard sealed it with a kiss in Sprint Cup. He's got a chance to score another historic win today. He's got a fast car, he's got an upfront qualifying spot, and oh, by the way, he already gets the celebration in victory lane. Mike Mazzaro.
Dave, in 1995, Richard Childress celebrated one of the highlights of his career right here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when his driver, Dale Earnhardt, won the Brickyard 400. Tonight, he's hoping for a moment that could rival that. He has two grandchildren in this field, the youngest of which, Ty Dillon, who has simply been remarkable this weekend. In just his second career nationwide start, he qualified on the inside of row number 2. I spoke with him moments ago, and he said his objective tonight, just have fun. Marty Reed, nothing would be more enjoyable, I would think, than celebrating in victory lane right here in Indianapolis.
Can you imagine being that young and starting third at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Let's check our dual path onboard cameras for you, because we've got a passel full for you. It's Kurt Busch in the number 1. He's in the Chevy onboard camera. Elliott Sadler with our Nationwide Insurance Dash for Cash on board. Of course, he's one of the contenders. Austin Dillon in the Advocare onboard camera. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., another Nationwide Insurance Dash for Cash camera. We'll be talking to Danica Patrick in a matter of moments in the GoDaddy.com. She's our in-race reporter. Denny Hamlin with our Goodyear on board. Brad Keselowski with the Dodge on board. And our pole sitter, Casey Kane, in the fresh from Florida Gulf Seafood on board. Of course, Danica Patrick made her name here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A total of 7 starts in her career. She only finished outside the top 10 in one of those events. 6 in the top 10, and 2 of those in the top 5 with a career best 3rd. And let's talk to her. She's our in-race reporter.
Hey, Danica, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
Copy.
Hey, Danica, we're going to go to our mailbag first, and overwhelmingly, the question was pretty similar than what comes from James in Albany, Georgia, from all of your fans. How does it feel to come back to Indy, but in a nationwide car?
Well, good question. I'm about to find out. I think that the most exciting part about the Indy 500 is obviously the race. So, you know, you definitely get a little aero tight, and but I feel like a little.
Driver for the very first time will also share in that experience of being a first-time winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, joining the likes of Ray Haroon over 100 years ago, Michael Schumacher in Formula One, Jeff Gordon, of course, in the NASCAR Sprint Cup. The butterflies, they are definitely in your stomach as they are coming through the North Chute. We'll be getting ready to go green here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Pace car coming through turn number 4. The fans here in the stands on the front stretch, they're now coming to their feet. You can hear them in the background. Folks, get ready, because we are about to write another page of history in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. On the front row, Casey Kane and Kyle Busch and young Ty Dillon and Denny Hamlin right there behind him. They come down the front stretch, flag in hand, and this race, the Indy 250 at the Brickyard, is green. Whoa, gonna go try it 3 wide through there. That gets a little tight. That's Kurt Busch in the number 1.
And we'll have to see on the start of this race. Kyle Busch beat Casey Kane, the pole sitter, to the line by a big distance, but it looked like Casey Kane is having some kind of problem with his race car right now.
Possibly spinning the wheels.
I don't know if it's even spinning. It's like the engine couldn't ever get up. I don't know if Casey could have possibly been in the wrong gear or something like that, but it sure didn't take off.
Yeah, it was not a clean start. It kind of made it dicey getting into turn 1. Saw Kurt Busch take advantage of that deep in the field there and made some passes.
Coming down to lead lap number 1, it will be Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, then Casey Kane, Ty Dillon, and Joey Logano. That's your top 5.
It's always different. These cars have practiced a lot, but not in a big pack. They started off getting down in the corner all together, and it really probably surprised a lot of drivers how free their car was in that situation.
Yeah, a lot of them were talking about these type situations. What was their car going to do? How was it going to react? These cars have a tapered spacer, not nearly the horsepower that the Cup cars have. So they were really concerned about getting side by side and allowing people behind them to come. But I think the draft, just like we saw right there with the pass, going to play a big effect as you get to the end of the straightaways, especially going into 1 and 3.
So important to carry that momentum. You see Kurt Busch now trying to make the move.
And there was the 12th car also.
He makes the pass on Ryan Blaney.
Yep, Sam Hornish gets around Blaney.
See him snaking down the straightaway, utilizing that draft.
That's Brett Keselowski in that 22. Right behind him in the 20 now is Joey Logano with the 3 of Austin Dillon.
Logano had a good qualifying effort, but he wasn't all that impressive in practice on Thursday. He wasn't very happy with his race car either, but they really struggled trying to get some speed and race setup.
That 33 you saw was Paul Menard, last year's winner at the Brickyard 400. Menard right now in 9th position. And here comes Sam Hornish looking to get underneath the 31 of Allgaier, and he's doing it.
That's really where, in talking again to the drivers, they expected to be making a lot of passes where they could use that draft and really take the position getting into turns 1 and into 3.
All right, you mentioned you wanted to see the start again. Let's go back and show you exactly what happened as they came down for the green flag. And without a doubt, 2 cars were actually in front of him.
I just don't know how they can throw the green run not even past the green start line. Yeah, that didn't look right. Clear about 5, nice and smooth.
I noticed they threw the green flag, but the start of the race, the flagman doesn't start the race. The driver on the pole starts the race. I don't know what, apparently NASCAR is not saying or doing anything about it, but I agree. It's up to the pole sitter to start the initial start of the race.
And there are 2 lines on the outside wall, which is the restart zone. And what Casey was referring to was we hadn't even made it that far and the green flag was out. So it sort of caught him.
That's a restart zone. I'm not sure that even comes into play on the start of the race. They do lecture the drivers to bring them down side by side and don't beat the pole sitter.
But I think that's where Casey was thinking. He's thinking that he can't go before that line. We'll have to find out, see what happens as this continues to progress. On board right now with Brad Keselowski as we're working lap 5. That is young Ty Dillon right in front of him. Boy, was he impressive in qualifying today.
And still impressive. He's hanging right in there, right ahead of Keselowski.
He started 3rd. He's running 4th right now. And your race leader is Kyle Busch. He was fastest in both practices, and he's out front right now by 0.6 of a second. For your latest NASCAR information. Now, right now we're working lap number 8 of 100, and Kyle Busch's lead over Denny Hamlin is now up to 1.2 seconds. Your top 5 is Busch, Hamlin, Kane, Ty Dillon, and Brad Keselowski. And there is Kasey Kahne. Now let's go back to the start of the race one more time, and let's listen, and you can watch for yourself.
Well, the procedure is that the green flag does start the race, but the second place car is not supposed to beat the first place car, the pole sitter, to the line.
And NASCAR has told us that their interpretation was that the 38 of Kasey Kahne just did not go when the flag came out. So
that's pretty obvious there. Yeah, I can't argue with them on that part.
That's their ruling, but it didn't look right for sure.
So there'll be no penalty assessed as we continue to knock down the laps here. Now remember, we have the competition caution coming up at lap 15. There again in that 51 is young Ty Dillon. We go on board with Brad Keselowski. He is right behind Ty.
I think Brad's got a faster car, but that aero component, when you're right up behind a car, especially these cars, they got such big spoilers and big cars, and make such a big hole in the air that it really does make it a struggle to make the pass, and that's why it's you really have to try to use that momentum to make that.
And Doc, it looks like Keselowski's trying to put all kinds of pressure on the rookie.
He really is, but he's also being very, very patient, but he knows he's got a great race car. A moment ago, Brad Keselowski cued the radio, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He said, guys, holy cow, this thing is a rocket.
Well, he's got him now as he's going down the outside on the front stretch here. And he will take over the spot from the 20-year-old who made his NASCAR Nationwide debut back in Dover in June, where he started 3rd and finished 8th. And whoa, little wiggle there.
Yeah, he did wiggle a little bit. I'm not so sure that maybe Richard Childress didn't get on and tell Ty, say, look, you know, no reason to race right now. Give him that spot and you can maybe learn a little something.
Back a little deeper in the field. There you can see the 43 of Michael Annett and the 7 of Danica Patrick. They are running 18th and 19th respectively. You can see her last lap with the leader's last lap being about 4 miles an hour faster.
If you're in any kind of traffic at all, that's going to hamper your speed. You're not getting all the air you need to the front end. And Travis Pastrana doing a nice job here so far today.
And he is in that 20th position. I asked him, I said, what is your impression here after the first time he got out of the car? He goes, man, you are in the gas forever. And I think the biggest surprise that we all sort of didn't expect was how little brake these guys and gals are actually using.
Yeah, the big spoilers are helping them not to have to use a lot of brake down into the corners, even at the end of 1 and 3.
Here's our best battle on the racetrack right now. That's Joey Logano in 6th and Austin Dillon all over. Now, Austin told me, he said he and Ty, they went go-karting last night. He made sure he told me that he beat Ty in the go-karts.
Right now, Ty's got the upper hand as far as positions going here on the racetrack.
Ty running in 5th. You're on board with Austin in 7th. You notice those blue spoilers like on the number 2 of Elliott Sadler. He is one of the 4 Dash for Cash competitors. $100,000 at stake in this race for the top finishing championship eligible nationwide driver.
Elliott fell back on the start of the race. Some looked like he might have been a little bit free. And I think that's the way that he felt like he needed to start this car, especially because they were expecting some aero pushes going on throughout the day and getting caught up into traffic and knowing he was going to have a car that turned when he got in traffic.
The 4 that are eligible for the Dash for Cash: Elliott Sadler, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Justin Allgaier, and Michael Annett. Rusty, we're getting close to this competition caution. What adjustments you think these guys are going to be making?
Well, I think right now, Marty, whatever's off in their cars, this is the first opportunity they've got to make some adjustments, because remember, there's no history on these cars. These drivers had no idea what this racetrack's going to do when they get going. So in my opinion, in a couple laps, when this caution flag comes out, I mean, they're going to make some big adjustments, I would, to catch back up here. They're learning a lot right now in this first 15. And I will tell you, for whatever reason, when you get racing, it's always an ugly head of a bad handling car always rises versus practice. You can practice all you want, but racing is totally different. So a couple laps going to be big time.
And we should point out, they are running on the very same tire that the Sprint Cup Series is running on this weekend. It's the same tire from last year. As we get ready, as they come down, as we're working lap number 15, a good 4-car freight train right there.
Yeah, we just didn't see any of this in practice, so this is totally new to them as to how these cars would react and now what they're going to need to do. You can see Elliott Sadler tried to make a wide entrance in there, was thinking about trying to dive below Austin Dillon, but got a little bit wide and couldn't get it turned back down.
I want to see what they're going to do strategy-wise this first stop. They only have to take 1 can of fuel. They won't be there long enough to take 4 tires and not lose some time. So we're going to see what these teams will do there. I expect to see a lot of 2-tire changes and some of the adjustments we heard.
Should be coming up on that competition caution soon. 8 of the top 10 have all competed in races here at the track before. The only 2, the Dillon brothers.
They're holding their own pretty well right now, too. You thought that they'd made quite a few laps around here themselves. We talk about not being able to beat experience, but the only way that you can combat it is with good race cars and a lot of talent. And I think
he's got
Dillon brothers, they have that, yes.
Yellow, 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 yellow.
And the competition caution has come out. Everybody will slow down. We'll get our chance to see what, if any, there was tire wear, and I don't think anybody was expecting that. It's just, you know, they wanted to make sure that everybody had exactly everything they needed.
Well, and to make adjustments too, just as you pointed out. You know, we're talking about, Andy was talking, you know, and just as Rusty said, they have nothing to go off of here as far as notes. So, you know, give them a fair chance here, because, you know, things get strung out a little bit. This race could go on and on for a while, so give them a chance to make an adjustment.
Now they do. Now
Yes.
they've got some notes. They got a 15-lap run. They've got a start with all of them piled up together. They kind of know what to expect. They started off with low tire pressure, so they know what to expect and what they need to adjust.
And I guarantee you, crew chief Rick Wren for Kyle Busch has a big smile on his face right now. He was happy this morning when I saw him after the drivers meeting. He said, man, we were so consistent in our 10-lap runs. He says, if we don't run in any kind of glitch, it could be our day.
Well, now it's going to be kind of the second thing they've fought. They fought some bad handling cars. They've also fought some issues in the pits. So that's Kyle, they've got the car in good shape. Put a little pressure on the pit crew here.
Yeah, they need a mistake-free day. They've just had a lot of things that's happened to them this year. This would be a time to get it all back together. A race this big means a lot. They need to really tighten it up.
While the field still bunches up behind the pace car, we can tell you it'll be Tim Schendel getting the free pass. He was 1 lap down. There are several cars that are behind the wall. TJ Bell, Kevin LePage, Chase Miller, Josh Wise, and Stephen Light. Everybody else still out running.
Talking about Rick Wren, he's the team manager over at Kyle Busch Motorsports. Mike Deem's the one that's going to make the call here in just a minute.
Yeah, Rick was, I mean, you could not wipe the smile off his face this morning. Cars up at the north end of the racetrack now. When you slow down, they're actually going 70 miles an hour. That's pace speed, but it looks like they're, you know, crawling along at about 15 or 20 in city traffic.
Feels like that. It'd be interesting to see too, Denny Hamlin there in second. He had stayed with Kyle for a while, but had fallen off. So is he going to make some kind of adjustment, or is Denny Hamlin just kind of playing things cool right now? So as you see, they come down pit lane with Kyle Busch, our race leader, and of course this is his team. And as if you've been with us throughout the course of the season, they have not had the kind of success that he was accustomed to when he was driving for Joe Gibbs. This could be his best opportunity to notch his first win. And what better place to do it than here? Let's go to Dave Burns.
Paul Menard looking for his second career win. They'll make a big wedge adjustment. They'll make a 4-tire change. They'll put Sunoco fuel in. The car was a little tight off the corner. Vince?
Too loose on the entry for Denny Hamlin. It's a 2-tire stop with a tick of wedge. Mike?
Gil Martin calling the shots for Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon's truck team making the moves. 2-tire change there, Doc.
Kyle Busch, 2 right side tires, top it off with Sunoco. No changes, and he will lose positions on pit road.
He certainly does, Doc. The 18 is the one who comes out first with Denny Hamlin, with Brad Keselowski right behind him. Here is the race off pit road. And you see that Sadler picks up 4, Kyle loses 4, Sam Hornish Jr. picks up 4. So 2 good stops and 1 not so good. Let's go back and check in on Danica Patrick as we'll go over the wall with Eric Ludwig. Caution as they
hit this time, 47 at the line.
All right, we did have a little bit of contact on pit road, and we're going to go on board with Kurt Busch now. We'll show you exactly what happened.
Yeah, this is a very tight pit road. You can see with all these cars still on the lead lap how things get jammed up.
A couple of times you see there. He was running, Kurt Busch was running 13th when the caution came out.
And the second contact put a little more damage on the 08 of Kyle Fowler. And then watch what happens here to Paul Menard.
Wow, look at this stack up. Paul just barely misses. Looks like Mike Bliss.
Let's check in on the 1 car. What are you hearing, Dave Burns?
Well, Marty, they stopped for 2 tires on the first stop, so they came in and fixed that left front. They're going to do it again right now, put on the left side tires as well. I guess that's the good news. The bad news was, of course, that he had that contact with Kyle Fowler. But as Andy noted, he's picked up 5 positions from the start with a very loose race car. They dropped the track bar 2 whole rounds trying to fix that for Kurt, but now they've got this issue.
Yeah, and he's going to get back out. If he can stay on the lead lap, looks like he will. He's going to be about 36th when we go back green.
Well, the last race that he won, which was at Daytona, his car looked a whole lot worse than that.
Well, here's what Kurt had to say on the radio after all this.
It went down pit road at 2,000 p.m. 2,000, and they still couldn't find his damn box.
So
it's got to be frustrating, Dale, when you're trying to get to your pit stall and you got somebody holding you up.
It was awfully frustrating to Kurt. Yes, but it is. You're exactly right. Yes, they're holding up, and you know, they'd made a good pit stop, and he was trying to get back out and into the mix, but unfortunately, he has some damage.
Don't forget, there was a time when Kurt won at Daytona after pitting 6 times under caution. Fixed damage.
It'll be a little tougher to pass here than Daytona, though.
Yeah, that's true. Big factor. Big factor. All right, let's reset it for you because Denny Hamlin is the race leader. He's going to select the inside. Brad Keselowski alongside. Then in Casey Kane, Elliott Sadler, Kyle Busch, Sam Hornish Jr. That's your top 6. Then it's Ty Dillon, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That is your top 10. Kyle Busch came in leading the race, and of course he comes back out in 5th. So let's go back and see if we can sort this all out and show you what happened as far as his pit stop, Andy.
They came in the leader, lost those 4 spots. See, Elliott Sadler does a good job. His crew doing a 6.1. That 9.9 is not good enough for 2 tires and a little bit of gas.
Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
We're with Rick Wren, the team manager for Kyle Busch. And Rick, you guys waited on fuel, and it cost you 4 spots on the racetrack. Why?
Well, this race historically, at least with the Cup cars, can be a major fuel mileage event at the end of this. So we want to make sure we're real accurate on our fuel, and the only way we can be accurate for sure is to fill it. The guys around us, I don't believe they filled theirs up because they're planning on kind of like short pitting. So they're going to go off their fuel mileage from practice. I want to go off of our fuel mileage from today in the race so we know exactly where we're at the end of this race.
How much pressure on you guys to be mistake-free today, given all the issues you've had to overcome the past few weeks?
Well, you know, we've talked about it in our team meeting again today. Just everybody here has to bring their A game because our driver brings his A game. So we just talked to everybody. No mistakes today. No loose lug nuts. No nothing. And we just hope that everybody brings their A game today. I mean, we've shot the boss in the foot a few times here lately, and we just need to try to help him out.
Kyle Busch hoping to get that victory. So do these guys here today. They need it for this team.
As we look at the replay, do you agree with this call, Andy?
Well, I don't. I'd rather have the track position. They had the lead. They could have just made a nice clean stop, got back out. And they have a pretty decent idea of what they're going to get for fuel mileage. To give up 3 spots just to make sure, I don't know about that.
You can see what it cost him as he is going to restart in the 5th position, and from high above.
At least he's on the inside. That's one good thing they did for him.
Pace car pulls down. Here we go. Waiting for the flag to come out as they come down the front straightaway. Now it's in the air.
Casey struggled again on the restart.
He's on the outside there in that 38. He may lose another spot to the 54. And he does. So Kyle Busch gets around him, picks one of those spots back up.
Yeah, it's no fun starting on the outside and trying to work your way back down, so you're willing to give up a spot or two even for that. But you're right. He's been on the front row twice and hasn't made much for the inside or the outside.
Down into 3. Side-by-side action through the corner. Everybody making it through okay. There's Paul Menard in that 33 car. He's trying to go underneath the 44 of Mike Bliss.
Yeah, see, Paul got 4 tires on that pit stop and got bottled up on pit road, so he gave up quite a few spots.
He was the first to come in to get 4 tires. He came in 9th, restarted 15th, and he's working his way back up. Here we go with a battle for the lead. There's Brad Keselowski. He's got the line down low, and he goes underneath the 18 of Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, you can see Kyle Busch even thought about making it 3 wide there for a minute. He had such a run. This is where they're going to try 3 wide. He cuts that off with Casey King.
He saw Casey coming, and he slammed the door.
Big push, though, from Elliott Sadler. Where will he go now?
Getting a little dicey down in 3, little contact. Everybody holds on to it, and Kyle Busch, he has got a rocket ship. On board with Sadler.
I was talking to a number of the drivers, and they were saying when they get side by side, they're just going to have to kind of almost use the driver up to push him up a little bit, because they can't. This is what's going to happen right here. 3 wide into 1.
Oh, and Sam Warnish makes it work as he goes around the 51 of Ty Dillon.
Like you say, Dale, you got 2 guys in front of you running side by side. They're making a huge hole. You can get a big run and pass both of them. Yeah, and that's why you don't waste any time running side by side. That's why you see Kyle Busch being so aggressive.
Boy, isn't it amazing? Early in this race, this is the second time we've seen the 2 of Elliott Sadler and the 3 of Austin Dillon, the 2 guys challenging for the top spot in the points, and there they are, nose to tail on the track. There's your top 5 here at Indianapolis. We're working lap 24 of 100. That's right, we're almost a quarter of the way done. 3, and also live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. New leader, and we'll show you how it happened. Kyle Busch is back out in front, so the tardy pit stop did not seem to bother Kyle all that long, as here it is.
Yeah, he got a nice run off of turn 2 and was able to draft a little bit and then pulled out. Got far enough away from Brad Keselowski, he wasn't going to do any side drafting to impede his progress. Took the lead back. I guess that's why they spent that extra time.
I guess so. They knew they could get it back.
And he's pulling away from Brad Keselowski. Kyle definitely has the best car on the racetrack right now. He was fastest last lap, and I have a sneaky feeling he's going to be fastest this lap. And you're looking right there at the 30 car, James Busher. Now, he was as high as 17th after the restart at 22nd, and he had to pit, and we'll show you exactly why.
This is one of the things that happens here. You see how low they want to run through the corner? They get on that grass, the splitters kind of chop it up, and he gets a full grill of grass. They had to get in there and clean it off so they could keep it cool. Vince?
Yeah, his temperatures are up to 250, so you see him giving a good clean of the grill there as he comes in. They also added fuel, and Allgaier said immediately, or James Busher rather, said immediately that the car was handling better, so good news on all fronts for the 30.
All right, thanks for the update, Vince. And as we said, he is out there in 34th right now. Last car on the lead lap. Taylor Malsom is 1 lap down in 35th. Everyone else is behind the wall or out of the race.
Big problem is he looks in his mirror and he sees a fast closing leader of the race, Kyle Busch, coming in.
Yeah, he's catching him about 3/4 of a second a lap. Kyle Busch is, so he's not going to have a lot of time on that lead lap.
You notice that Elliott Sadler went through your screen as we look at the 33 of Paul Menard taking a peek underneath Joey Logano, and he does make the pass. And you know, everybody was saying that they were worried about being able to pass on this racetrack, but we're seeing a pretty good deal of passing here in the early going.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's more of a matter of how do you do it? Where are we going to go about it? Where's going to be the best place? And you have a better handling car. I know a lot of them talked about how good they drove. They didn't see how bad some of them were going to get in traffic, and so then you could make passes.
Let's get an update on that 33 car. How about it, Dave Burns?
Marty, we saw the lockup on pit road that Paul had to do to avoid damaging his race car, and you might be concerned that he would have flat spotted those tires, but he radioed back to crew chief Ernie Cope before they got going. Everything feels smooth. I think they'll be all right. Now, he hasn't picked up any position since the restart, but he also hasn't wanted to come down pit road again, so it's good news.
And the 33 right now in 8th position, and he's opened up a little ground over the 20 of Joey Logano. Meanwhile, there's the gap between first and second. There's your top 5 as we're working lap 31. Kyle Busch won 3 times over at the small track at Lucas Oil Raceway. Running of the Indy 250 went green. A bit of a sluggish start by our pole sitter, and we've seen a lot of action so far. Frustration for some, little gardening for others, and a lot of finger pointing. Fans, remember to check out Race Buddy. It's enhanced coverage for the select Nationwide Series races. With more cameras than ever, log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. Right now, Kyle Busch is looking to put the 30 a lap down. James Busher running in 34th position. Now in second place is Brad Keselowski, but he has now fallen back by 1.7 seconds. Doc, what are you hearing?
Well, Marty, Roger Penske didn't win 15 Indianapolis 500s without being ahead on strategy and thinking ahead. And I would not be surprised. I haven't said much on the radio, but just from watching what's happening in the pits, I think these guys are about to roll the dice and maybe pit in 3 or 4 laps, put tires on it, top it off in fuel, then they can go to lap 70 for one final stop. Maybe play the fuel mileage game, a la a road course, and maybe tighten up that 22 a little bit, but try to get ahead of the strategy, even though they're far from needing to come on a pit road.
Well, you can pull that off because it's not going to cost you a whole lot, because if the caution would come out, he makes a pit stop and the caution comes out, he'll still be on the lead lap. Everybody pits, guess who's the leader? Brad Keselowski. That's a good gamble right there.
We're looking at the best battle on the racetrack right now. That is Ty Dillon in 6th. Elliott Sadler, as we're on board with him in 7th.
I was getting ready to say, it's not really a gamble. It's actually just good strategy.
That was the 22 radio we heard saying pitting this time. So, Doc, it looks like it's going to happen.
That means they can go about 33 laps, and they're going to pit. They're going to divide it up here. It's about 65 to go. They're going to make that stop.
Elliott Sadler's really been working hard here. He's obviously trying to stay off of Ty Dillon, but really working hard. He's beating him through the corner. He's getting beat a little bit down the straightaway.
All the way down here.
Here comes the 22.
55 miles an hour, and it seems like an eternity when you go down this long pit lane.
4 tires. I'm going to get you around down on the track bar. Should take all of 1 can of gas.
Let's take it down to Doc.
You heard the instructions, 4 tires and track bar. The reason for the track bar, the car getting a little bit free going in and coming up off the corner. And it is very fast on a straightaway. Again, here's the fuel gamble. They pit now. You can go to lap 70 on fuel. And if they have to come in, then they'll be at the front of the field when everyone else makes their pit stop. Marty?
All right, Doc, they complete the 4 tires. The left side is on, and he's back out. 14.5 seconds.
Yeah, like I said, they can probably go 33 to 35 laps on that tank of fuel, and that'll give them a cushion on that green white checker. Look at this. Kyle Busch trying to get that car. Whoa.
And Kyle Busch comes in the very next time.
4 pins to 0, so we're okay here.
And he has got to go a long way down to his pit box. And the 18 is also in, Vince.
Denny Hamlin with the same issue. A little bit too free on entry. It's going to be a 4-tire change and a chassis adjustment. Doc?
Likewise, the 54 of Kyle Busch. It's monkey see, monkey do. They realized what was happening with the 22 and others. Why not do it themselves? They're going to top it off with Sunoco fuel. Go ahead and put 4 tires. They have not put laps on yet. Slight air pressure for Kyle, and he's away.
See, at this point, Kyle has to make that pit stop, because if the caution would happen to fly, he's the one in trouble if he stays on the track. Once he gets on pit road and gets off, right now he's good. You're not going to let somebody get a leg up on him right now. He's got the best car.
So he comes back out. He'll re-enter the fray on the backstretch. Here comes the 51 of young Ty Dillon, the 20-year-old, down pit lane. 2 other cars coming in as well. That's Kurt Busch and Joey Logano. Let's send it down to Mike Massaro.
Earlier in the race, Ty Dillon said he was a little bit loose on entry. They made several adjustments on that first stop. The car has been much better, but he says they still need to be much more free in the center. A 4-tire change.
We got a crash on the
Ty
track.
Dillon, and
Sorry,
trouble
Mike.
on the racetrack. Danica Patrick in the wall.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Mike, but yes, you're right. Danica Patrick hard into the wall.
Got into there.
The 98 of Reed Sorensen also there.
I can't drive it.
So Danica's return to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is not going to end anywhere close to what she was hoping.
That car is torn all to pieces.
So slammed the wheel and caught it right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it looked like Reed Sorensen and Danica were involved here.
Let's go back and show you exactly what happened. They were battling for 14th.
Well, I shouldn't have anybody to blame but herself on that one. She just got in the back of Reed Sorensen.
Tried to go to the outside, but Reed comes back across and collects her and hard into the wall.
Got into a wreck there. Hold on. 98 back the corner up and got into there.
A couple of good hard
Got it pretty
contacts.
good there, Tony Jr.
Here's another look.
All bets are off when the car in front of you sideways.
Yeah, I don't know if Reed Sorensen got out of the throttle and surprised her with that, but it looked like, you know, she could see the closing rate on it, but just got into the back of the 98. Tried to go to the high side. More contact.
And Travis Pastrana just slips past the 98 there.
Yeah.
That's what's left of the 7. So we are under our second caution. But the first as a result of contact on the racetrack here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we have completed 40 of the 100 laps.
Put themselves in a great position to make up about, 15 spots. They were going to line up somewhere around the top 5.
He has already lost 2 laps.
Played the strategy perfect. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's related to the contact or not, but they don't have any, looks like they don't have any ignition, no fire at all.
Still cleaning up the track. And Dave Burns has caught up with Danica Patrick.
Yeah, she's just been released from the infield care center. Marty, Danica, how are you feeling and what happened out there?
I'm fine. It's just unfortunate for our day. It's a big race, it's a big weekend, and it's a track I would have loved to have done well at. But we were just trying to pick them off one by one, and Tony made the car better on that second run, and we just got shuffled back on that restart there. Just picked the wrong line and got shuffled back. So, I don't know what happened. I got into the center of the corner and got pretty close, and I might have tapped him. I'm not sure. He was pretty slowing it down quite a bit. So, just I didn't mean to take him out. I don't know if he's still going or not, but I'm sorry if I did anything. I was trying to go around him, and when I went around him, I think he hooked right maybe or something like that. Just a bummer. There was plenty of racing left to try and work with. So what are you gonna do?
You mentioned the changes that Tony made. He called it a big swing. Was there a sense that you could actually race the car now instead of chasing it around this place?
Well, I felt like I could definitely start to get a little closer and pass some people, and it was better through the center of the corner, so that was good. Still a little tight on the exit, so I guess if he took a big swing, we were pretty darn tight. So I just feel really bad. Everybody works really hard, and we just, I haven't been able to get the finishes for the team that they deserve, so hopefully I can start doing that.
Not her day at the Brickyard today, but glad she's all right, guys.
10th time this year a caution has flown with the 7 car involved. Not all of them her fault, but she gets swept up in this one. And she said she wasn't sure that she tapped him, but she tapped him. So the cleanup continues. We'll show you one more look as we head to break.
Got into a wreck there.
Like to hear some of yours as well. And speaking of thoughts, Rusty, I know that you are so impressed right now with Ty Dillon.
I am very impressed with Ty Dillon, the young guy out there driving that 51 car out of Richard Childress Racing. What a great run he's having today. That's Austin's little brother, and man, I'll tell you, little brother is kind of outrunning the big brother today.
He's wheeling that thing.
In just his second ever Nationwide Series race. We do have to keep our eye on, though, a couple of Nationwide only drivers, the drivers who are eligible for $100,000 at the end of the day if they are the best finishing driver among these 4. Currently, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. sitting in the catbird seat.
Yeah, I'm surprised, though. All 4 of these guys have done really well in the last few weeks of keeping their car up inside that top 10 throughout the race. Ricky looked like he got into the wall a little bit earlier. They haven't none of them have run as strong. Elliott Sadler hadn't been as strong as I thought he would be up to this point, but we're only halfway. We're going to see how it shakes out.
Brad, one guy that surprised me is Michael Annett. Week after week, he doesn't qualify real well, but keeps driving that 43
Steady.
Richard Petty car up to the front week after week, and he's doing a great job out there.
He really is.
And pretty interesting, we're seeing a kind of a split pit strategy. Guys that pitted early, now the guys that pitted late. And Elliott Sadler up for that $100,000 in that second shot. So we'll have to see how the second half of this race shakes out. Interesting that it's a split pit strategy like that.
Absolutely.
46 complete, 54 to go. Marty Reed.
All right, thank you, Nicole. The top 5 got their pit stops in before the yellow came out. That's Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Ty Dillon, and Joey Logano. And Kyle, I should say, as the race leader, is selected the inside. We can't give you an update. Kurt Busch's car has been pushed behind the wall. James Buescher gets the free pass. The pace car pulls off. I think we've got you updated as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Green flag.
Come out of turn number 2. Boy, Denny Hamlin gave Kyle a really good push, and Kyle took advantage.
I was thinking that maybe Denny could come out of there in second, but Brad Keselowski fought hard on the outside to maintain that spot.
You know, Rusty was talking about how impressed with Ty Dillon he was. I have been too, but I said to Andy before the restart, he's restarting on the outside. Let's see what he does. Well, he made up a spot. He's up into third.
So how'd he do?
Yeah, I'm more impressed.
Did real fine. That 18 car, Denny Hamlin's got his hands full right now with Casey Kane. They're side by side coming down the front stretch. Whoa, that's Elliott Sadler on the right side of your screen.
That's that move Dale was talking about when you get 2 guys running side by side.
That's the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right behind him. The 18 of Hamlin in front of him. There's Paul Menard on the outside of the 6 car.
Okay, now these 2 cars are going to be side by side. Let's see what Austin Dillon can do. He's going to get a draft from this, but he's got really nowhere to take it. He's just going to have to push Stenhouse by.
Yeah, he's just going to be able to try to make up one spot here. He doesn't want to get caught side by side with his teammate Paul Menard there. Doesn't do that. See, Menard can cross back over here.
At the north end of the track, down into 4, on board with Austin.
A lot of these drivers were telling me too that a best shot that they've got is try to get somebody loose on the entrance to one of these corners. If they can just get them a little bit loose out of the throttle for a second, they might jump in there and steal that spot.
I'll tell you what, Austin Dillon has had some kind of rookie season in that number 3 car. Through 18 races, he's had more top 10s and more top 5s than Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, or Kyle Busch did in their rookie season.
He has had an incredible season so far. You're right, Marty.
All right, we mentioned the restart and the push that Denny Hamlin gave to Kyle. Let's take you back and show you exactly what we were talking about.
You've seen this be kind of the deciding factor on a lot of restarts. People working together and basically pushing each other. See right there, he gets a push.
Yeah, Denny got a great start, but it kind of messed him up. It got him out of rhythm and actually cost him a few spots.
As they come across the stripe, it is Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Ty Dillon, Joey Logano, Sam Hornish Jr. is now running in 5th. There's a nice 4-car run with the 18 leading the way there. Denny Hamlin in 6, Casey Kane, the 2 of Elliott Sadler, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And of course, those 2 are duking it out with those blue spoilers for the dash for cash, the $100 grand. Dave Burns, you've got an update from back in the garage area?
They're not going to. Hey, guys. I didn't realize you were going to be chatting with me here. Kurt's been working on the car since they rolled in here. They're not going to get to go back out. Since it's, every once in a while racing for these guys, they're not going to get back out this afternoon. And I don't know what the problem is. We just haven't had a chance to catch up with them yet. So we'll update you at some point.
All right. It's only the 2nd finish outside the top 10 and 12 starts in 2012 for Kurt Busch this year.
Well, they got the left rear wheel off. It tells me they're looking in where the battery is. They've got some kind of power issue. trying to figure out where it is. I've seen the battery actually short out too, so no telling what this one is.
Left side of your screen, that was the battle for fourth with Joey Logano just ahead of Sam Hornish Jr. There, coming down the back straight, is your race leader Kyle Busch, followed by Brad Keselowski, 0.7 of a second behind, and young Ty Dillon doing one heck of a job here, running in third. There's the rest of your top 5. We're past halfway, 49 laps to go here at Indianapolis. Let's check the motorsports calendar because we've got the NHRA Sonoma Nationals qualifying tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And our Brickyard 400 telecast presented by Golden Corral, that's tomorrow, covered starting at noon Eastern on ESPN. And then the NHRA Sonoma Nationals 7 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN2. Our top 5 right now, Kyle Busch is running 1.4 seconds ahead of second place Brad Keselowski. And then Ty Dillon running third. Joey Logano behind him in fourth, and yellow number 12, Sam Hornish Jr. is running in fifth, 5 seconds behind your race leader. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance, and let's start with 6th place now. Vince?
Denny Hamlin running the 18, and he's been out front today. He's led 4 laps, but right now the car is just too loose. In fact, that's what they've been fighting all day long. In their 2 previous pit stops, they've made chassis adjustments both times to try to secure his entry, and it's still not quite there. Doc?
Casey Kane has moved back up into 6th position after losing a couple of spots on that pit stop. Casey doesn't have any issues with the car. They put a piece of tape on the grill to make a minor adjustment. The 4 times, the only issue he's got is the car just won't take off on a restart. Mike.
Before the race, Elliott Sadler was asked what advantage he had because of his experience in the Cup Series here at the Brickyard. He said, I know what it takes to make my car go fast, and I know what it needs to feel like. So far, he has not been able to get that feeling. He's been fighting a very tight race car throughout the afternoon, Doc.
And behind him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now, Ricky has 2 goals today, one of which is Roush Fenway has never won a race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He'd like to give them their first victory, but even more importantly than that, right now, he wants to get by the car in front of him, Elliott Sadler, and win that $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus from Nationwide. He's a little bit free on entry. Vince.
And in 10th place is Austin Dillon, 2nd in the points championship. The car was too loose early in the race to hustle it, and they snugged it up, and it's a little bit too tight now. He says he's not able to drive off of it the way he wants, as you see him on the hunt there, trying to get up to the 33.
And Vince Paul Menard not unhappy with his race car right now. Just a little bit of a shuffling there on the restart. Don't forget, this is a guy with the Brickyard trophy. Says he's placed it in his house between the kitchen and the bedroom. He passes it every day, and he wants to be able to put another one in there so he can have the same daily memory of his win here at the Brickyard. Vince?
And then you've got the 11 of Brian Scott. Not too bad right now. Pretty balanced. He likes his race car. Says he still needs a little bit more. The right rear gets a little edgy in traffic. Mike?
Mike Lynette has been rather quiet on the radio most of the race, saying the car is neutral. Other than that, really no complaints about his car, although it has been a rather mediocre day for the 43. They were expecting much more this afternoon, Vince.
And looking at the 99 of Travis Pastrana, certainly got a lot of fans here in Indianapolis watching him. They've been battling the car. It was tight off in the early runs. Now he says it starts off too tight on the run, so they've given him an air pressure adjustment, trying to get him a little bit more comfortable early in the stint. Marty?
All right, thank you very much, team. As we can also tell you right now, we've knocked down 58 of the 100 laps, and we have a total now of from 32nd on down is either off or out of this race. But boy, nothing wrong with that 54 car of Kyle Busch. He is 2.2 seconds ahead of Brad Keselowski here at Indianapolis. We talk to her. Pretty soon we'll talk to Reed Sorensen. Kurt Busch got a break after this mishap on pit road. Looked like it was going to work out well. They get him back out on track, but then they lose power. It ended up being an electrical issue with the battery that they were not able to get repaired quickly enough. It was on the wrong side of the car. Here was the start of the race, and this is the kind of day it's been for Kyle Busch. Everything has gone right for him, as he has been the man leading the most laps. He's led 50 of them so far. Put a little block on Casey Kane there, and then had the grunt in the engine able to come around and get around the 22 too. And as we come back here, the caution has just flown with 37 laps to go. And here we go, guys. It's right on the outside of the window, and there's the debris on the track.
Isn't it always the way it works out?
Yeah, for some it is. I think what we're hearing for Kyle Busch, I mean, he's going to pit now, I believe.
Yeah,
but I don't think he can go this far.
Yeah, they were saying they wanted to go to lap 70, and we're about 7 laps short right now.
So race leader Kyle Busch.
You know, I make it.
I heard that. That was Mike Dean's voice. The crew chief on Kyle Busch is 54. Cannot make it.
Now the question will be is, can anybody else?
I think that 22 might. I think
the Dodgers have been getting pretty good fuel mileage this year. Well, we're about to find out as everybody's up on the wall.
And it is the way it always works out there. You sit on that box, you think, okay, if we just make it to this lap, if we can just make it to that lap, and it falls right outside of what you can do.
Pace car brings him around, and Kyle Busch, as the race leader, we mentioned he's led 50 of the laps so far. We've had 5 different leaders and 7 lead changes, this being our 3rd caution of the day. And you can see that everybody up front is following Kyle, as it'll be. Now the question is, do you do 2 tires or do you go 4?
You want to keep track position.
Yeah, but I'd like to have 4 tires.
Yeah, you got to. Well, they're going to have to put a lot of fuel in too, so you're going to have to sit there for a while. Might as well get the 4 tires.
All right, let's send it to Vince.
Same problem for Denny Hamlin. It's 2 free in. They're going to take a big swing at it with a wedge adjustment. 4 tires. He's going to be short on fuel. He'll have to save. Mike.
Ty Dillon saying the car was getting free as the run went on. Gil Martin debated taking 2 tires and then made the late decision to go with 4, Doc.
Brad Keselowski, 4 tires, fuel, air in both front tires, and tape to the grill. He will make it to the white flag, maybe to the checkered. Kyle Busch, 4 tires, adjustment with air pressure. Kyle Busch is 4 laps short on fuel.
And they also had a slow stop. Yeah, they were slow on the stop, Doc. And boy, look at this. Michael Annett taking 2, picks up 11.
How about
Kyle loses 8.
8 spots. That is not what they needed right now.
Which means he can't. Oh, and who lost a tire down there? Let's go back.
A new tire. Somebody knocked that out of a tire carrier's hand.
Let's go back and see if we can show you exactly what happened.
Once again, we'll talk about tight pit road here.
Came off the 70 car, Joanna Long. Came in 16th, and whoa! And it does catch Austin's car, but I don't think it looked like it did much damage at all.
No, I think he's okay.
No, unfortunately, it didn't jump back over there.
Real hard. Watch the speed.
This is a very narrow pit road. It's long, but narrow.
That'll get your attention for sure. We'll reset everything. Looking at the car, doesn't look like it's hurt at all. Austin Dillon still running. 4 laps to go here at the inaugural running of the Indy 250 as we're under our 3rd caution. Let's talk to Elliott Sadler. He's running in 8th place right now. DJ?
Hey, Elliott, Dale Jarrett, you have a call?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, thanks for talking with us. Anything surprised you about the racing here today? Something you weren't expecting?
No, it's same old Indy, Dale, with track position is so important. Clean air. You can have a good handling race car. Get behind the car in front of you, and your car changes dramatically. So it's all about restarts. You got to get a good restart. These cars are drafting, bump drafting a ton on these restarts, definitely, especially down the back straightaway. So we got to get a good restart here, hopefully. Try to get some clean air and then work on them from there.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy. Good luck these last 33 laps.
All right, thank you.
There you see Kyle Busch behind him there as he is shown in 9th position. Look at the temperature on the left side there. It says 100 degrees inside that cockpit. And then he's got the fire suit on and everything else.
Yeah, you add all of the rest of that stuff. Yeah, you even put that down closer to the floorboard, it'd be even hotter.
We mentioned Kyle Busch, of course. This is the deepest he's really been. 9th. Let's listen in on the radio.
Basically, our target mile per gallon would be about a 1.5 second lap time loss of whatever pace you're running, or I can give you an RPM to decrease to.
Andy?
Well, that's not doable. I mean, if they give up over a second a lap, they're going to be so far behind by the time they get down to it, they can't take advantage of it.
James Busher gets
We
the
need to
free.
run about a 54 flat for about 12 laps towards the end of the race.
James Busher gets the free pass again. He puts him back on the lead lap. A total of 30 cars on the lead lap. And up front it is Sam Hornish Jr., Michael Annett, that's right, he is right on the outside. Austin Dillon third, Brian Scott, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, and Elliott Sadler. That's your top 8. We're racing again in Indy. Great restart for the 12. And here comes Austin Dillon.
Got some different players up here than what we've seen up front. A lot of slipping and sliding with the 2-tire.
Interesting to see when and if the 4-tire guys can make their way up. Here comes Elliott Sadler with the help from the 18, and there's 54, Kyle Busch in the mix as well. Side by side through the corner. That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to get underneath the 33 of Paul Menard.
Yeah, this is going to open the door from somebody behind to try to come and make a run at those two. Like Justin Allgaier that was right behind them.
Sam Hornish Jr., our 6th different leader. There you see Kyle once again. He has picked up 2 spots.
That 54 car is just extremely fast. Kyle Busch can just kind of decide where he wants to pass these people, but he's got a fuel issue as far as having enough to get to the end right now.
Brad Keselowski and the 3 car of Austin Dillon. Here comes the 2 of Elliott Sadler around Michael Annett. Remember, they're duking it out for the dash for cash money.
See, these cars have put on 2 tires. The 3, the 43 seem to be struggling a little bit. With these cars, like Elliott Sadler has 4, able to make their way up.
First place in the points chase, passes 2nd place in the championship. You saw Kyle Busch there. He has now moved up into the 6th position. One car that has pulled down pit lane, Ryan Blaney. The young 18-year-old had a pretty decent run going, but an unscheduled stop here. There is Kyle going around the 43 of Annett, so move him up into the 5th spot. While all this goes on, let's get caught up with Reed Sorensen. How about it, Dave?
Of course, he was involved in the lap 38 wreck with Danica Patrick. What kind of a day did you have going before that happened, and then what'd you see? You've seen the replay now.
Yeah, this Shelby American Ford was running okay. We have a good weekend so far. Fighting a little bit tight. We were actually about to pit the very next lap, and just going into one, you know, next thing I know, I was sideways, and I was pretty sure I got hit by somebody, and I'm not sure much I could do. I thought I had it saved. You know, it's pretty hard to save a car here at Indy when you get turned going into one. So I don't know if she just got in too hot or what the deal was, but all in all, we were having a good time, and you know, we hadn't really got to adjust the car too much yet. So we were looking forward to getting a few more adjustments in, but we'll get him back again at Atlanta. We're going back to my hometown and get this Engine Shelby company car back out there and have some fun.
Disappointing day for a startup team that's on a partial schedule, having a decent run before all that, Marty.
And as you were finishing up on the left side of your screen, the 18 of Denny Hamlin makes the pass, moves up another spot. There is your race leader, Sam Hornish Jr. with Brad Keselowski right behind him. Now in 3rd place is Elliott Sadler, but he is 1.4 seconds behind, on board with Brad.
I'm not sure Brad's not sitting in a position he wants to stay in for a minute. We'll see if he goes on around Sam Hornish. You see Sam really struggling. Yeah, I thought Brad might be saving a little bit of fuel running there for a lap or 2.
Yeah, he can still save fuel once he gets out in front. That might even put him in a little better position. See, Sam, he was holding the position pretty well on those 2 tires with that clean air. But now, like I said, those 4 tires are taking over. Keselowski now has the point. He can control the pace of the race.
And there you see Kyle Busch coming through the screen in 4th. He's picked up, let's see, 6 spots in 4 laps. Not too bad, but he's got a fuel issue. The laps are winding down here at Indy. A slight contact with the 51 of Ty Dillon. And watch the 11.
So he got a little bit loose coming out of turn 3. That allowed Casey Kane in the 38 to make a move to the inside. Brian never got it back down. You can see he's really fighting the wheel. Gets loose here. He's going to spin out.
Ty Dillon does an incredible job to save that car. Made slight contact with the left front fender, Brian Scott. That's where the smoke's coming from.
And watch this view. It gives you a totally different feel. It looks like, oh man, they had a lot more contact.
See, Paul Menard had to go down pit road to avoid being a part of that accident.
There's the damage on the number 11.
It looks like a little more contact than it looked like. Knocked it in there pretty good.
I do not want to go a lap down here. It's not worth it. We can work on this multiple times here.
All right, some of these guys are short on fuel, depending on how many yellow laps.
Yeah, the guys, I mean, like Kyle Busch, if he absolutely cannot make it, he has to pit. Now, if they're wanting to roll the dice, they think they can stretch it out, they're going to gamble on having
He's going to pit, yeah.
Well, we've got some takers, as you can see on the right side of your screen. But the 54 of Kyle Busch stayed out. So we'll take a break here, sort things out, and see how everybody shakes out as far as the fuel situation is concerned. We are 3/4 of the way through this race. Here's what happened that put us under our 4th caution of the day at Indianapolis. Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, our 4th caution still underway with 24 laps remaining and several question marks involving cars that stayed out, primarily the fastest car on the racetrack, Kyle Busch. Also, we're going to need to update you on Paul Menard. He is now back in 16th position as a result of the evasive action that he had to take when this spin occurred with Brian Scott. Let's go back and show you what happened.
You can see this is the original pass. This is where the 11, Brian Scott's going to get loose. 51 to Ty Dillon.
See Ty Dillon
33 here.
Ty does a really good job not to crash. Here's Paul trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, so there's a car in front, so he goes down pit road.
Now the team felt that because they slowed down even more that they should have been able to get back into the position where they were when the yellow came out. NASCAR says no, it's where you blend. Here's Ernie Cope, crew chief, talking it over with the NASCAR official and getting the explanation.
Now, they didn't get a penalty for speeding on pit road because he did slow down. Even though technically he would have been speeding. They let you slide with that if it's an evasive move.
And while all this is going on, Paul Menard's made another stop. Let's check in on the 54. How about it, Doc?
Well, let's eavesdrop. Let's look over the engineer's shoulder here with their permission. You see that number 98 on the screen in front of us, that red 98? That's exactly, by his calculations, what lap Kyle Busch should run out of gas. Now, they're doing some calculating now and thinking about they were about 4.5 laps shy. And Kyle has been saving during this caution flag. Let's check in with Mike Beam. Mike, with your driver saving now, what do you think? Can you make it to 100?
God, I don't know. I think, yeah. I mean, Joey's saying we can, and, you know, his caution, you know, helped us there. So, and I know Kyle's been saving. So we're just going to go. I mean, we've had a really good car. You know, we got pit stops have been horrendous here, but, you know, but guys are tired. I mean, you know, they've worked hard all week, but, you know, still, we can go. We're going to go. I mean, we've been gambling all year, so it's no use to change the way we're. I know it's not the most popular thing to do, but that's the way I'm going to do it. If we win, we win. If we don't, hell, we'll go home, go get more.
All right, guys that are under pressure, they're exhausted, and they're rolling the dice once again. Amazing here for this 54 team.
If he would have stopped, he could have come out as high as 17th. Now we'll have to wait and see. He's 2 laps short as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Brad Keselowski is your leader. Sam Hornish Jr. second. Sadler, then Kyle Busch in 4th. Whoa, Kyle gets around. Can he save it before hitting the wall?
Lock it down. Lock it down.
Caution is out. And what a save.
Get it rolling here. Get it rolling. Yellow is out.
He keeps it off the wall. But now he is definitely going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, don't have to worry about fuel now.
Well, he made a huge move.
He did. I saw him.
Down
He
the front
broke out
straightaway.
three wide on the start. He got pretty aggressive right there, and he needed to.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Sadler was going to give him the room there, but it looked like he got to the inside of him.
Go back and take another look at it.
See, he got down there, and he's trying to get on the inside of Sam Hornish. He's trying to get in the gas, but got up against him, and around she goes.
Boy, the 3 of Austin Dillon, nice job of not getting collected in that as well.
That's talent right there, though. He did a good job not to hit anything.
Here's the super slow-mo.
See right there, he's already hit that. The wheels aren't turned to the left at all. He's fighting a loose condition to start with, and then when you get over against, you turn a little bit. There goes the back end. Got no air getting to the spoiler in that particular spot right there either.
Look there, not hardly a mark on the 12 car. And Kyle, I could have probably chased that just a little more, but he'd have put Sam in a real bad spot too.
Yeah, chances were that if he tries to correct that anymore, then he's going to get into Sam, and then no telling what may happen.
Those two were involved in an accident last week too.
I was going to say there was a little history, and we were wondering if there would be any bad blood carrying over, but as you said, Kyle stayed off of him as much as he could. Now watch this from Austin Dillon's view.
See a little contact right there.
Still outside, though, with that 54. Watch him. Low, low, low. Come on, come on, come on. Clear all around, clear all around.
Now from Denny Hamlin's view.
Two by two, still inside 3. Just a 3. 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Keep coming, come on, clear, 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 no caution.
Now we mentioned the fact that these two had an issue last week, and let's take you back and show you exactly what happened.
Yeah, this was later in the race, and the Kyle Busch and Brendan Gaughan were running side by side. Sam Hornish got into the left rear. Kyle Busch sent him spinning.
Sam said he was temporarily distracted, and that was late in the race. Everybody racing for those spots, and it wasn't intentional. I don't think Kyle thought it was either.
No, he certainly didn't, and yeah, it's just he wasn't happy about it, but he knew it wasn't something that Sam Hornish did intentionally.
They check over the car as they have plenty of time to get back out. They're just coming down the front straightaway now, and he's all ready to pit out. So Kyle gets back out on track. And here's another look at how he saves this car from hitting the wall. 88.
That's a great run for Travis, man. To be up in the 11th spot here in this race.
I really thought he may really struggle with this. Yeah, but he's been solid all day long.
See Paul Menard in the 33 going underneath, picking off another spot. There is Kyle Busch. He's restarted in 26th position.
The 2 car is being black flagged. Be aware, 2 car being black flagged right here in front of you.
And $100,000 just went out the window for Elliott Sadler. He is going to be back black flagged for jumping the restart. There is the black flag now.
Black flagging me. He spun his damn tires.
You hear Elliott's version.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt.
Let's go back and take another look at it, guys.
I have to agree with Elliott. I think the 22 did spin his tires a little.
All right, let's listen on the 22.
Big push on your outside. You're off of Sam. Still outside.
I don't know, from that one, it looked like Elliott just got a pretty good start.
Well, I think it's hard to see from that, but I mean, I said originally from what I saw on the start that the 22 spun his tires because the 12 was pushing.
I went in the box. Tell him to review it. Right now, they're reviewing.
So Elliott stays out. There's Sam Hornish Jr., the 2006 Indy 500 winner, getting underneath and around Austin Dillon.
Sam doing a great job here today. You know, they just put 2 tires on the last time they were in the pits, but hanging in the top 3 here.
Yeah, same thing for Austin Dillon. Those are two cars that did not take 4 the last time.
For Sam, of course, his one and only nationwide win came at Phoenix last November. A couple of top 5s this year. See the numbers there, 2.7 seconds from Dillon to the race leader, Elliott Sadler. But if that black flag stands, that's going to change. 15 laps to go. Will be 14 this time by.
It's going to. They're showing it again to Elliott Sadler.
Yeah, and it's going to be probably not going to wait much longer before they're going to tell them they're going to pull the car and quit scoring him.
My bumper cam, the 3 had me jacked up. I couldn't do anything.
You saw Ty Dillon as we kept listening in on the radio as Ty makes a move on the 43 of Michael Annett, and Annett is in that dash for cash mix as well. All right, the 2 is arguing that he got a push from the 3 car of Austin Dillon. Let's go back and see.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
Right on the back bumper, just pushing him. I mean, if he backs off, he's still not going to slow down.
That's been right on all accounts so far. But I don't know that he's going to win this battle.
Well, we'll wait and see what NASCAR does. The black flag flies again. The discussion is still going on, and the laps keep winding down. And
that's Luke Lambert, the crew chief, and Will Lynn, one of the team managers at RCR.
Well, this has huge implications, not only the dash for cash, but in the points championship as well, because Austin Dillon is running 4th right now. Little brother Ty is running 5th.
Well, Sadler's car is performing right now, no doubt, once he got out front.
There would be the points right now as they are running. And you can see how much it would change if Elliott, with a total of 28 cars on the lead lap, be a huge swing in the points. The black flag continues to fly. Brad Keselowski in 2nd place. At 36 is Ryan Blaney. Blaney is 1 lap down in 28th position.
What they're saying now is the black flag with the white cross is the next flag that Elliott will see. That means they stop scoring you, so he'll have to
We will deal with this after the race, man. We got to get all we can get right here. Do not speed, no more errors. 4,400.
So you heard the call from Luke. They are going to have to come down and serve the penalty.
Focus on the best we can do right here, man. Do all we can do right here. That is so wrong. That is so wrong to penalize me for a mistake they made. NASCAR just taking the championship right from me.
55 miles an hour, and this is going to seem like an eternity. Brad Keselowski will take over the race lead with 11 laps remaining here at Indy. And you can see on the right side just everybody streaking by.
Pit road speed, roll all the way through.
This is not a stopping penalty, it's just a pass-through, but costing a lot of spots.
He can now accelerate, rejoin the race on the backstretch. Brad Keselowski. Roger Penske has never had a win in a stock car at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 15 of them in IndyCar. His closest came with our man Rusty Wallace in the Sprint Cup Series, finishing 2nd. Right now he is running 1st and 2nd. And now look at the points. We told you there would be a major shift, and it is.
I mean, there's so many things. He's not going to win the first race at the Brickyard for this series. He's not going to win the 100,000. He's going to lose the point lead. Very, very costly penalty. Ty gets the spot now from Austin.
Yeah, Ty's passed his brother up into the 3rd spot now. Fast race car. He was back in 11th just a little bit ago.
Well, he got 4 tires when they made their last stop. He's passing some of the cars that just got 2. Now he's passed Austin. Let's see if he can get up there and get Sam Hornish for 2nd.
And in case you missed it, there is sibling rivalry here. Earlier in the broadcast, we told you about they went go-kart racing last night, and Austin made sure he told me that he beat Ty. Well, right now, all he's looking at is the back bumper of little brother. On board with Austin. That 3rd car in there is the 18 of Denny Hamlin. He's running 5th. While this battle continues, let's move back up front. We mentioned the fact Roger Penske has never won here in a stock car. Right now, his guys are running 1st and 2nd, albeit 1.9 seconds apart. That's lap traffic between Brad Keselowski and Sam Hornish Jr. Here's the Penske 1-2 finishes back at Bristol and at Phoenix back in 2010 and 2011. And right now, this time by, there will be 8 laps remaining. Can you imagine how Roger's going to feel if this holds up and he gets the first inaugural win in the Nationwide Series?
Well, it certainly has to be a good feeling for the Penske organization to have these 2 cars out front right now. You just have to wonder. I mean, we know we've had some caution laps and everything to help them with fuel, but still use a lot of fuel. You're in the gas a lot here. There's Kyle Busch, who was in the pits just a little bit ago whenever all of this was going on with the 2 car. Doc, why was he back on pit road?
Well, just continuing disappointment for that team. It was overheating when he had that spin and knocked some hoses off. They got some grass on the grill, 280 degrees plus and rising, so they had to come on pit road and clean the grill off for him to go back out. Now being shown a lap down in 26th spot.
And to give you an idea about his frustration factor, he just turned the fastest lap on the track, last lap of everybody out there.
Yeah, this is whenever you start wondering, will you ever win, because you can't take the fastest car and win with it. Just things start happening, and when they're going bad in this sport, it seems like that they just continue to happen.
Well, his best finish in his last 3 starts, 23rd at Daytona. He's 26th here right now. Laps winding down. 6.5 to go, and you've got Brad Keselowski out in front of his teammate Sam Hornish Jr. now by 1.7 seconds, so no pressure from Sam. In fact, you got to drop back another 1.5 seconds to catch Ty Dillon, the 20-year-old, turning in a tremendous performance as he is running ahead of his brother, older brother, Austin Dillon. Let's get an update on the 51. How about it, Mike?
It's just a remarkable run indeed. Only his 2nd Nationwide Series start, but it's even bigger than that. I was told, believe it or not, at the top levels of NASCAR, including the Truck Series, this is only his 15th ever start altogether. So obviously a natural adapting to the conditions. He attributed that in a conversation earlier this weekend to his ability to drive dirt cars. He said by doing that, having that experience, he learned how to adapt to a changing racetrack. That has been the case today as the sun has set and the track has gotten cooler. The conditions have changed. He's kept up with it and is about to turn in a top 5 finish here at Indy.
Last year, Ty Dillon won the ARCA race over at LOR, and he went on to win the 2011 ARCA championship. 1 year later, look at what he's doing here.
He's going to love this town.
Age 20. The laps continue to wind down. We're down to the final 5. Good battle going on here as there is older brother Austin Dillon trying to chase down the 18 of Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Hamlin was just able to make a pass just a minute ago. Austin trying to see if he can get back to him and retake that 4th spot. Really thought Denny Hamlin might be more of a factor in this race today, but they seem to have fought a loose race car the majority of the day.
And you see that car back there, the 43, Michael Annett, that blue spoiler, he could be on his way to $100,000. Of the 4 contenders, he is the highest running car in the Dash for Cash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right now is running in 8th position. Justin Allgaier is 12th, and we documented what happened to Elliott Sadler as he has continued to try and fight his way back. He is up to 16th.
You know, when Michael Annett finished the race last weekend, he didn't even think he was one of the 4 because it looked like Kenny Wallace was actually going to get that 4th spot. But Kenny Wallace and that team had a post entry, so they weren't points eligible, which made them not eligible for this Nationwide Dash for Cash.
And Kenny said it was a technicality that hurt a lot, but he took it with grace and dignity and said, hey, we'll just keep plugging on.
That's Casey Kane, just came off of pit road. He was not able to make it on his fuel load.
And I'm still not sure that we're going to see everybody up here make it.
So Casey will be one lap down as we're getting down to the final 3 laps coming out of turn number 4. Whoa, be careful. Don't get too close to that wall, Brad. J.R. Hildebrand can tell you what that'll do to you late in the race.
3 to go.
You heard the call. Just 3 laps to go. Of course, Casey would like to get right back around him because if there were some chance of a green-white checker, he might be able to pick up a few more spots. 38, we're getting a report. It was a right front tire.
Okay, so maybe he had enough fuel. I saw him making that pit stop here with just a few to go.
Yeah, he was running 7th at the time when they had to come in to get the tire. So thanks to the crew down on pit road to get the information for us. Brad Keselowski. How nervous were you when you realized you had a chance to win here at the Brickyard?
Oh, it was just overwhelming. I mean, you've got a job to do, but you still realize the entire time exactly where you're at and what you're trying to do and just the history of this place.
2 laps remaining, and the dash for cash money right now looks like it's in the account of Michael Annett, who is running in the 6th position. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 8th, 2 spots behind him. Less than 5 miles remaining here in the Indy 250, and separating Brad Keselowski from history, as well as Roger Penske continuing to add to his legacy here at this fabled speedway.
Let you know that Elliott Sadler went back out there. He was right at about 20th, just outside the top 20. Worked his way back up. He's in the 16th spot right now.
And it means right now they would be tied in the points championship, 703 points apiece.
If this finishes up like this, Sam Hornish's good run really gets him a lot closer for that championship battle.
You heard the call. 2.5 miles remaining for Brad Keselowski and a date with history. Tim Cindric on the box, president of Penske Racing. Out of turn 2, down the long back stretch. Sam Hornish Jr., his teammate, 3 seconds behind. 2 more corners. And Brad Keselowski joins the list of Ray Haroon in open wheel, Jeff Gordon in Sprint Cup, Michael Schumacher in Formula One. He will become a first-time winner, the first winner of the NASCAR Nationwide Series inaugural event at Indianapolis.
Got your present over here. Come get it. A kit? Do I get a kit? Good job, Jeremy. Everybody. That's the way to persevere right there. Everybody, awesome work.
It certainly was.
Team Penske 1-2.
A 1-2 finish for Roger Penske. He gets his first NASCAR win here at the Brickyard. 3rd win of 2012 for Brad Keselowski, 20th in his career. And let's go straight to Dave Burns.
And Marty, I think with all the cheering you saw there and the continued celebration on pit road, these guys know what it means. Jeremy Bones, you just won at Indianapolis.
I didn't hear a word you said, but we just won the Brickyard. And congratulations to everybody at Penske Racing. Great day, 1-2 finish. Couldn't be happier for Mr. Penske and the whole organization, everybody back at the shop. These are brand new cars just for this race. And how can you not be excited?
Very excited down here. The team's joining Brad now on the pit wall. And Marty, it's going to be a big celebration.
It certainly will be. 15 wins for the captain in IndyCar here at the Brickyard. And now he has the first ever Nationwide Series win with that man behind the wheel, Brad Keselowski. And Keselowski has a great chance to be the first ever to double up in a weekend here at this track. Come on.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that fuel did not become an issue at the end. These guys just ran it hard all the way, and Brad winds up getting awful close to the wall there.
Yeah.
Careful on that celebration. We'll get a chance to talk to him as he makes his way back around the fabled 2.5-mile oval that is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The race, the first ever in the Nationwide Series here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah, guys, go celebrate. A hard-fought, well-earned victory. And yeah, Brad's going to burn him down a little bit. All right, we've got $100,000 to hand out. How about it, Dave Burns?
Well, standing with Michael Annett, who, you know, he finished 6th, which isn't bad at the Brickyard, but it's not the win he was looking for. But you got an extra $100,000. How do you feel about that?
I was going to say this might pay a little more, but no, this is awesome. This is the Brickyard. We're not kissing any bricks today, but we got a big cardboard check we can lay our lips on. But this was fun. You know, I was so confused this morning, and I told Flip, I said, I really don't know. I said, let's just drop the rag, and we'll figure it out when we go. And about 20 laps in, I started to realize what I needed to move forward through the field, and we just used the whole day as a learning experience. And he had a heck of a strategy that got us in the right place at the right time. We just knew we needed track position. But I can't thank Nationwide Insurance enough. Jamie Haslam, Mark Hazelwood, Mosier, Scott Wumble, everybody at Pipe, Flying J that's been with us from the beginning. This is the kind of stuff they deserve. So this is a lot of fun, and the guys, the look on their face is more important than the money, I think.
So as Brad Barnett from Nationwide comes in, we'll let Michael do with that check whatever he wants to do, and I think he's earned it after a great day today at the Brickyard. Marty?
Congratulations, Michael. Thank you, David. Let's shift gears and head over to Victory Lane, because we've got a first-time winner at the Brickyard in the first ever Nationwide event.
Roger Penske, 15 Indy 500 wins, but never a stock car win at this Hallett facility until today. And Brad Keselowski, you gave that one to the captain. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, I've been watching races here for a long time as a kid from Michigan, and I think everybody knows how special Indy is, and any win you can have here, whether it's you know, the 500 here in May or the Brickyard 400 here tomorrow, and now the first Nationwide race is any victory is very special here, and I'm just glad to be able to do it for Roger. I'm sure he's watching. Glad to have the support. This is the 100th win for Roger Penske in NASCAR. So that's really special for him, I know, and it's special for me to be able to be that guy to deliver it to him. But it wasn't easy. Kyle Busch was really, really fast. He had a great car today, and I think he was just a little bit stronger to us, and it was going to come down to who got through traffic better. And my guys on a Discount Tire Dodge delivered an awesome pit stop on the final one, and we beat him off pit road, and then it was just being, you know, disciplined and smart enough to get through traffic in one piece and get to the lead and take it from there.
Brad Keselowski celebrating in Victory Lane. He told me before today, he said, when you walk in the front of Penske Racing Shop and go in the lobby, the first thing you see is those 15 Indianapolis 500 trophies, and how special would it be to give the captain a stock car one today. Marty?
And that's exactly what he did, Doc. And right behind him, his teammate Sam Hornish Jr. with a great run. Ty Dillon, at the age of 20, finishes 3rd as the party is beginning in Victory Lane, and it's going to continue long, well, not real late in the night for Brad, because he's got to work again tomorrow.
NASCAR Nationwide Series at Indianapolis is brought to you